Well, thank you for being with us today. So I have a really special guest. So I'm very excited to have Danielle Cuomo, who is the founder of Virtual Assist USA. And Virtual Assist USA provides services and solutions to small businesses, entrepreneurs, and Fortune 500 corporations who do not have space, equipment, funds, desire, or need to hire full-time employees in-house. So Danielle launched Virtual Assist in 2008, and the concept of using virtual assistants at that point was very new. It was unproven, and in some cases, with many businesses as they launch, it raises more questions than it answered. So that era of uncertainty back in 2008 passed some long time ago, and now they have unbelievable process and procedure and people. And I can attest because we actually use Virtual Assist. So they work with all sorts of businesses of any size, any shape, from one-person shows to massive corporations that want to be nimble, flexible, and use the most relevant technology to be productive today. So, and in this time of remote work and all the things that are going on in this world, it is truly a blessing and an honor to have a resource like Danielle and her team. So, Danielle, I want to thank you for being with me here today to talk to our audience.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited.
Great, great. So Danielle, just to kind of jump into it, I want to ask the first question I really ask all my guests, and really, what is your overall assessment of the business climate as it stands today in March of 2022?
Yeah, so I think actually for our industry in particular, where we're in, outsourcing remote work, um, everything has actually increased a lot for us post pandemic. I think that there is definitely a sense of folks wanting to look at alternative methods, whether for growing their businesses or operating their businesses. So it's actually been a great benefit for our company and for outsourcing.
That's terrific. So we're seeing this shift in how we conduct business as a community, right? So that's great. So what are your clients when you talk to your clients and prospects, what are they worried about, or what are they conveying to you, and what's keeping them awake at night when you're talking to your clients and prospects?
Well, a lot of our clients come to us from a place of, wanting to do everything themselves, kind of getting bogged down in that, but knowing that even if they can do it themselves, they really shouldn't, whether it's that they're not, they don't have that area of expertise, or it's just not, an effective use of their time. And so that's where a lot of our clients, come into the space with us about that, come into, working with us. But a lot of times too, they're looking, and you might see this in your business, that they're not wanting to make a commitment of necessarily bringing someone on and hiring them because maybe there's too many compliance issues. They don't want to commit to the costs of hiring someone, and they don't really want that long-term commitment. So they want something that's more on demand and flexible. And that's really where where we can come in.
So it sounds like when thinking about your business, people are talking about flexibility, right? So
Yeah.
we don't know what we've learned over the last 2 years is we don't know what tomorrow brings, essentially, from a business perspective, right? So having that flexibility to use your team on an on-demand basis or a fractional basis. Again, as a truth be told, we are a client of Danielle, so we know how good the service is, and really that's how we're using it. So what have you seen now that we're entering the third year of, let's call it, post-pandemic life, if we can get to that point?
Yeah.
What are you seeing now in business with your teams, with what people are asking you for? What are you seeing that's different today than maybe, 2 or 3 years ago now at this point?
I think now, the folks that I encounter are definitely wanting to take more charge and have more autonomy of their own businesses. We've seen a lot of clients that we have become entrepreneurs and they're coming to hire a virtual assistant for the first time. So it used to be more of a focus on, larger companies would hire us, but now we're getting a lot of solo entrepreneurs. And I would just attest that to people wanting to take their future into their own hands and have a little bit more control over that. So in my experience, I'm seeing a lot more folks that are starting businesses or finally taking the time to grow an existing business that was maybe a side hustle for them, but no longer really wanting to be, a slave to having to work for, in a corporate environment or being, stuck with kind of the external factors. They really want to have more control over that, more autonomy.
That's interesting. So in our world, we talk about the Great Resignation, right? There's these things over the news, right? And whether it's by, a conscious choice, hey, I'm gonna do my work, work differently from now on, or I was forced out of a business or a job or something that I've been doing for 20 years, and now I have to do this. And maybe when I worked in corporate America, I had these resources, right? I had different things at my fingertips. So that's really interesting. So what you're saying on the ground is the practical result of whether you call it the Great Resignation or the Great Force Out or whatever it is. People are starting businesses, which is amazing, in one of the most difficult times, and using a resource like yours to help them grow that. That's really amazing to see. So that kind of leads me to my next question is, with that in mind, the Great Reset or the Great Resignation and where we're going, what are you preparing for in your business and with your clients, or what do you see as a trend over the next 12 to 18 months going forward?
I think that a lot of folks moving forward will continue to want to have their own businesses, solo entrepreneurs. I think that's going to be a tremendous growth, especially within, as you said, sort of the Great Resignation. And so I think that we'll see a lot of growth for smaller businesses, solo businesses is something that I see. And as you had mentioned, I had started in 2008 when very few people knew about virtual assistants. I got a lot of questions at the time, but I think that just remote working and remote outsourcing now in general will be something that is a lot more well-known, a lot more widely accepted. I think a lot of folks can now see that it can work. Remote work, not being next door to your assistant, not being able to knock on their door. But now we have all of the tools and technologies and platforms to be able to work remotely with someone and make that very successful.
That's great. So now I'm going to ask one question that I don't think we've ever really spoken about, but so you started your business in 2008, which was really at the time of the last great financial crisis in America, right?
Yeah.
And in 2000, we're in one now, we're coming out of one, or whatever you want to call it. We're in the experience, right? What have you done differently when you're running your business from that 2008 time as a real startup and kind of creating a name for yourself and your business and your space, really, to how you dealt with or are dealing with what's going on in our world now?
So as you said, when I started, it was the Great Recession, and the impetus for me starting my business was that I had been laid off from my job in IT consulting. They had eliminated our entire department, and so for me, seeing other folks that have started or grown businesses during this really stressful time in our economy is really encouraging for me. I like to see it because I know that, I did the same thing. And so it's always just nice to see that other folks are doing that as well and taking advantage in a time when maybe a lot of things seem kind of doom and gloom or have been that way. Then I think for me, now I'm just taking the approach in 2008, a lot of the work that I was doing was more educating folks on what a virtual assistant was and what we could do for them. And now it's shifted, certainly when I'm talking to new clients or prospects, that it's more of an education on how to maximize a virtual assistant or how to work remotely successfully, how to do it the most efficient in the most efficient ways, because now it's a lot more widely accepted. And so it seems that folks are looking more for that type of information and education now.
So it sounds like the last 14 years have really paid off for you in your business and how you're viewed in the world and how you're approaching the world going through this next thing. So it's truly amazing to see. And I want to reiterate to anyone listening to it, we have a fully developed team and we still use Virtual Assist USA for various things in our organization because it's an on-demand service. So I really encourage everyone to get in touch with Danielle. So let me tell you how to do that. So Danielle's website is virtualassistusa.com. That's virtualassistusa.com. Her phone number, or how to contact her by phone, is 412-437-8243. That's 412-437-8243. And her email is not what you'd think. It's L-E-L-L-E dot Cuomo, C-U-O-M-O, at gmail.com. So it's L-E-L-L-E dot Cuomo, C-U-O-M-O, at gmail.com. So Danielle, again, I really want to thank you for being here. I really want to thank you for the way that you help your clients grow their business. And I really want to thank you for sharing your insights today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, terrific. So we'll chat with you soon and have a great day.
Thank you.